Every damn day.
Genesis Terrell, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Jerry. How are you?
I'm doing super good. I am so happy to have you on the show. We tried, I don't know how many times last year in season 1,
Yeah.
but you're coming out the gate. First show on season 2 after I do the intro on January 1st. How you feeling about 2022?
I'm good, man. I'm optimistic. Great to be here. Genesis means the beginning, right? So I'm here for the beginning of season 2.
Yeah.
See how I did
I
that?
think it's very symbolic of
Yeah.
what
I
we're doing
agree.
here.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
well, let's jump in
Sure.
because we've got a new season. We're trying to figure
Yes.
out all of this out. I'm going to have some kinks and all of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But let's start with you telling us about you. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, so I like to tell people, because this is a question I always get. People ask me if I'm from Lansing. I am not from Lansing. I've been in Lansing about 7 years. And when I got here, Jerry, I hit the ground running, working on different like musical events and trying to put events together. And even back then, and we'll get into the Banner King thing, but even back then, I was doing a lot of print work for local like parties and stores and pretty much anybody that I could convince them that I can supply what they needed. So,
Yeah.
Long story short, current day, a lot of people know me as the Banner King, which is, I don't go around saying I'm the Banner King. No, that's not true. I probably have said that once or twice, but I got a business called the Banner King, specializes in wholesale print. And that's pretty much it, man. You know, that was something that was birthed out of a very interesting story, which I'll share with you. But other than that, man, still the Banner King, still hosting events. I do some DJ work. I got to host trivia late. I got to host music bingo actually tonight at Stober's. And so I do tons of different things. So, yeah.
Well, let me start with the question. Do you identify yourself as like an entrepreneur? Are you an activist? Are you an advocate? Or how do you identify what it is that you're doing?
So I do like to put myself in the space of an entrepreneur. But then in terms of being an activist or anything else, I have a term that I like to call myself, which is an act as if, right? Act as if. Act as if there's still a need that hasn't been met that I can figure out how to fulfill. So you can look at that from faith, from even down to feeding people, down to buying clothes, down to anything you can do, because there's always a need, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times we'll consider ourselves an entrepreneur, and that's what we do. We'll consider ourselves an activist for certain things. Me, I like to act as if I can be a part of whatever I want to be to help people get to wherever they want to be in life, right? So that's my little thing.
So I have a quote that goes through my head almost every single day. And it's by a Spanish philosopher, I think. I'll get this wrong. Please do correct me, but don't brag on me.
Yeah, no.
Jorge Borges, a Spanish philosopher, said, "The author of an atrocious undertaking, something huge, must act as if it is already done."
There you go.
Act as if.
Act as if.
Right in this quote.
Right
and
in
it's
there,
one of
man.
my favorite quotes.
That is cool. I got to start using that.
Is there some destiny here that you're the first guest here?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Genesis, the Sunday, the second day of the year, all of that. Yeah.
I got a great friend and client, and she always says, shout out to Detrice Stalling. She always says, start with the Genesis. And I like that. So season 2 is starting with the Genesis, which means everything else that comes along in season 2 is going to be awesome. And guess what? Since it's your show, you can't get canceled unless you're ready to.
I'm ready to. I'm ready to talk about what needs to be talked about. And if that gets me canceled, then cancel.
There you go, man. There you go.
Because I live by values here,
Yeah,
not by that other stuff.
That's right.
So I got to find some dude named Omega or something to end the show.
There's probably a kid out there with that name.
Yeah. All right, Omega, if you're listening, you're on December 31st of 2022.
Yeah.
So let's dive a little bit into the Banner King.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell us about that, and when you started, how is this going, whatever you want to tell us.
So
advertise.
Somebody, I told this story one time before, and they had such a stone-faced look when I told them how this business came about. But I'm going to tell you. So many years ago, and I say many, but I guess I really mean like, I guess many to somebody, 17, 18 years ago, I had a friend and he was telling me, he's like, hey man, I have to go to court and I don't have insurance. You're good with computers and printers. Can you make me an insurance card? True story. This is how it all started. And I was like, I don't know, maybe. What does your insurance card look like? He's like, it's expired. I'm like, I know, but what does it look like? So he gives me the insurance card. I'm thinking, yeah, I can make it. So I make him one and he's like, how much will you charge me to make that for other people? And so I was like, I don't really think that's my thing, but you know, sometimes you do what you got to do, right? And so I didn't know this is a very important lesson in business. I didn't know as much as I thought I knew, but then I realized I knew more than the average person knew about print. And, you know, we get ourselves into business and we're like, oh, I'm not prepared. I don't know enough. But your consumer may not know a fourth of what you know. Right. So that was a lesson I took with me. And so fast forward, I started hosting events and, you know, I was paying people to design flyers. I'm like, I don't have any money. This is ridiculous. I'm having this party to make money. So I got to pay this guy $50 to design a flyer. I got to go down to Staples, and this isn't even the quality of what I want as far as my flyers. Sorry, Staples. I'm my own guy now. No. Staples.
It's all right. Awesome. Staples can handle it. Big corporate.
They
we can punch up. We can punch up on this show.
Yeah, they got all the money. So anyway, I started noticing that people liked the designs of my flyers. I was thinking, well, I didn't really design it, but there's got to be a way for me to learn how to do this. And if I don't make money from the parties, I'll make money from the advertising from the parties. Mm-hmm. And so it went from, you know, helping a guy basically photocopy something to designing, to learning how to design flyers, to where the guy who actually used to do my flyers, he's a client of mine now, which it's kind of came full circle, you know. And so with that, I studied and learned just about different quality of paper and a lot of different things that, you know, people just don't think about on the everyday basis. And I said, well, there's got to be a way for me to make money. You know, we find out about all these different companies online that you can get print from. It's like, how can they print at this cost? Well, I need to be in that equation. And so I did research, partnered with a lot of different organizations, and now I'm connected to print broker organizations that are also union that allow me to work with the political space, work with the nonprofit space, and work with the everyday man as well. And so the beautiful thing about my operation is I'm able to be a lot cheaper than my competitors, and maybe even offer better quality than some of them. And so Banner King, you know, I specialize in banners, retractable banners, vinyl banners, hanging banners, whatever. Print other things as well, but that's how we got to being the Banner King. I found a thing that I didn't know I knew how to do and made money from it.
Well, I know for a fact there's a few banners in the Fledge here that you made for us.
Yeah, for sure. Right? Yeah, thanks.
And we really want to buy local, right?
Yeah.
And not to rag on Staples, have nothing really. I have no problem with Staples.
Not at all.
But I'd rather give my money to you than I would to Staples, because Staples going to send it off to some corporate thing or whatever.
Right.
And you're going to probably spend at least your margin in the neighborhood here, in the community here.
Right.
How do you do that? Because I don't think you have a big print shop, so you must be outsourcing some stuff, right?
Yeah, the I would say about 75% is outsourced. But the difference is I've invested time and money to become a part of print broker associations. Mm-hmm. So, you know, hypothetically, maybe what may end up costing you $75, I can probably get for a fraction of that cost, which you don't really care because you're probably willing to pay the $75 if you go somewhere anyway. Right. But I can make myself a profit save you some money and give you a good quality product, and we have a happy Jerry and happy Fledge,
Yeah.
So yeah,
And a happy Genesis.
and a
That's
happy
always
Genesis.
important
Yes.
to us as well.
Yes.
Or at least Banner King.
Banner King.
Whatever.
Yeah. Genesis is always happy. Banner King has had some unhappy days.
Is there, do you ever get really wrapped up in yourself and your company's identity and not quite sure?
That's funny. No. I think I do a great job of separating. Like any given day, you can. This literally happened to me one day. I host music bingo and trivia, and I DJ and host events and do all this different stuff. And I try to fill my days in as best as possible. And I remember I was working on somebody's designs in the morning, and then I went to do DoorDash. Shout out to DoorDash too. It's made some good money there. So I went to do DoorDash, and then I had to go like set up to DJ an event. And the person I delivered DoorDash to, he was at the event. He's like, "Didn't you just bring me my lunch?" I'm like, "I sure did. So I got money from you then, and I'm getting money from you now," because he was over the event. And so I do a good job of separating, all of my, dare I say it, personalities. I don't want anybody to put me in a box, but we've all got our monikers and personalities that we go by, and I got a ton of them because I got to motivate myself. One day, one name, might have to fire the other person. You know what I mean? So yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm the president and the janitor of my company.
I'm the president and janitor too, and sometimes I'm the worst employee I have. Sometimes I'm the best boss I have.
Absolutely. I fired myself last week from Banner King.
Did you?
I did.
Who'd you rehire? Yourself?
I reapplied. Yeah, I reapplied, got my thoughts together, tucked my tail, came back and said, "Okay, we got to do this."
All right.
I know it's weird.
So, this, it's a little tough because one, I think we said tonight we're going to air this on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So do you do a thing at Stober's like every Thursday or every Wednesday or whatever?
I've been partnered with another company called Top Shelf Trivia, and I used to host music bingo at a few different venues, and Stober's was one of my main ones every Wednesday. And this is actually my first Wednesday back to Stober's since the pandemic started. So I don't know that I'm going to be there every Wednesday, but I'm like their go-to guy. I trained a lot of the people in the area, but.
Well, for sure, we should give a shout out to Stober's because
Shout out
they're a local
Stober's,
place.
man.
They're an anchor within the downtown east side area.
And they're the oldest bar in Lansing. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Yeah, Stober's is cool. Shout out to Kristen. She's awesome.
And they got that kick-ass, I don't even know what to call it. Is it a mural? Is it a stained glass? Is it a sculpture? Right. But yeah.
Yeah, Stober's is cool, man. Stober's is cool.
So, all right. So tell us a little bit more, though, about Banner King.
For sure.
Just promote a little bit, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no. So Banner King is probably one of the only wholesale union private-owned businesses in the Lansing area. And that's not to knock anybody else that does any print or anything along those lines, but I've intentionally made my services more affordable and to have better quality than a lot of my competitors, simply because most of the times that we go to larger corporations to get print work done, the truth of the matter is you're not going to get the quality that you want because you're just a number.
Yeah.
In Banner King, you're a friend and a family member. We value your business.
When you said union, it kind of surprised me. Mm-hmm. How do you control who manufactures the stuff? Is that what you mean? That the manufacturing is done with a union shop?
Yeah. So I have 4 different warehouses that I work out of, but I've got one that I probably do 75% of my work with. And they're minority owned and they're union. So with that being said, depending on who the client is, if it's that important to do union stamps, like I did, political campaigns are a great example. When people are running for office, they want their constituents to know I support union, whether they do or not, right? And so what that means for people who are like, what about union? I don't know, credit union, what are you talking about? For those people, what that means is they're in support of fair pricing for print people, even if it's more than it should be.
Yeah.
I still always try to be reasonable. But what that means is politicians are saying, I support the blue collar worker, whether they do or not.
Yeah.
We hope that they do. We see, with Lansing being a huge GM town, I've done some print work for GM as well. And the first thing they said was, it's got to be union. I'm like, yeah, I know. And so that's even a space that a lot of other local print places don't operate in.
Well, if the Fledge doesn't check that box, it's a mistake, because we want a union shop.
Yeah,
we want to support unions. We want to support labor.
Sure. And we appreciate that.
Yeah. And are those union shops, those labor shops, where are they?
So,
I don't think they're in Lansing. And that's
no,
okay,
no.
right?
They're not in Lansing. They are, some of them, well, the main one I use is close to the Metro Detroit area.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're still in Michigan.
Still in Michigan. Yep. Just this is being in Lansing and not the Detroit area. This is a term I learned, downriver. They all know what that means. I'm not from that area. I figured that out when I was talking to somebody. It was like, oh, that's downriver. And I was like, what's going on with the river? But anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, Metro Detroit area. And I have paid my dues to be able to do this. I didn't wake up one day and say, it'd be awesome to do some print stuff.
That's how every damn day started, though. I just woke up one day and said, I think I can hack away at a podcast for a year.
Yeah. The thing about me, man, I've always been like, even from a kid, I always said, how can I do something that, even if it's already being done, how can I do it my own way and it have such an impact? Like, I never thought of a time where I was like, when I grow up, I want to be this. People say cops, people say politicians, astronaut, what a rock star, maybe the rock star. I didn't want to do that. But when you say things in that space, I always said, I want to grow up and work for me. So I'm content with a lot of what I'm doing. I'm not rich from it, but it's fantastic that 40-year-old me can look back at 17-year-old me and say, I grew up to do everything I wanted to do. I've worked on, the spaces we haven't tapped into is my musical background, my marketing background. Music was always more important to me than anything. And to say that I've worked on projects with artists that have been nominated for almost all the awards you can think of is huge for me.
Yeah.
Considering I was, even my own mom, she's like, oh, don't get too much into this music thing, even though she's a singer. Shout out to my mom. She's on tour in Spain. Shout out.
She's on tour right now.
In Spain, yeah.
Oh, shit. Let's get her on the show.
I know, man. They're over there for a month. And yeah. So, but I grew up to do what I wanted to do. And I took my failures and made them fuel,
Did you ever really fail?
Yeah.
Or did you learn?
That's good. I want to call it failure, but it was definitely lessons learned, research, market research, we can call it. But thinking back, even in the times where maybe I thought I did fail, it was just a stepping stone to get to something more awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. I would never see that you failed.
Yeah.
I always think that, you succeed or learn, and the only time you ever fail is when all the hope is gone.
Yeah.
But once the hope is gone, that's death.
Yeah.
So you got a breath left in you. You haven't failed.
Well, I don't know.
I think that.
I was a great husband twice, but I failed in marriage.
Well, that shit's different. And
That's
it's hard.
different.
Shout out to Shannon.
I am happier single.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's a song that I wrote because I do that, and the lyrics were something like, "I used to have a wife, but now I'm married to these pesos." Gotta love that.
You're pulling so much out of me. I thought I was going to be really rusty with this.
It's all good. It's all good.
Mellow Man Ace. I've been listening to Meta Rosa a lot recently because I'm trying to make anyways, it's a different thing. But I love the rap that's putting the Spanish in it and coming back out and being bilingual.
It's good stuff.
I'm loving it a lot.
It's good
and
stuff.
I just heard something on 96.5 I got to look up last night that had that too. But we're on a tangent, which is what I do on this show. Sorry about that. So
we're loose cannons. They don't tell them what we'll say over here.
So we love your business. We endorse it a lot.
Thank you.
We try to use you as much as we can when that type of stuff comes up. And I'm glad that you're still in Michigan. You're still using union shops.
Yes.
You're taking some of that profit and spending it again here in Michigan.
Absolutely.
Give a shout out to one of your suppliers, somebody who helps you, somebody who you give money to.
You asked me so quick.
Oh man, that's a tough one. You're gonna forget someone that's gonna get screwed up.
I know. The best way to cover that is probably just referring to the Print Brokers Association.
Okay.
That relationship has worked wonders for me because I mean they connect the dots with so many different people, people that I knew that I needed to know, and then people that I didn't know that I needed to know. So shout out to them because my research connected me with them, and without them, there would be no Banner King. There would just be a guy at home occasionally making money off of banners.
I often think about associations as, man, we don't need them.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
How are they going to help me? What are they going to do? I can figure this out myself.
Right,
They're going to just charge me some money, but
Yeah.
you're promoting it.
You have to, man, because for everything that we do, it started with somebody else, and so.
And everything we ever do will be through somebody else.
Absolutely. Somebody. Yeah. I mean, I always use this example. For every Facebook, there was a MySpace. And for every MySpace, there was a Black Planet. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
There's always somebody positioning somebody else. You may pull from it and have your own ideas, but we got to give props to the original source.
And we're building scaffolding for the next generation too, right?
Absolutely. Because those kids are smart, man, and they got to get going quick.
Yeah, they're super smart.
They are.
All right, so we're going to move away from your business a little bit and get into community.
Yeah.
What do you see as the biggest problem in your community, our community, however you want to define community?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's this, and this may be a very cliche answer, but I would say resources, because the more resources we have and better resources that we have, things will fall in line as we would like them to. So job resources, housing resources, food resources, just economic development, educational resources, and then different outlets, kind of like what you guys do. You guys do a ton of different things here, man, and that's awesome for the community. And it's a jewel in the community, and some people may not see it that way, and some people will see it that way, right? So it's all in saying, okay, one person may look at one thing to be a resource, and somebody else may look at it as something that they don't need. Well, you don't need this resource, but there's another resource you need, right? Mm-hmm. And so resources always is I think a thing that will make things come into fruition like we really want, especially for our kids. I mean, those are the next generation and the generation of now, right? If there are more resources, I think we would see less violence amongst our teens. So many different things, man. I mean, resources is key, because if you don't have it, as it goes, idle hands are the devil's workshop, and that devil doesn't necessarily have red horns and a pitchfork. You know what I mean? It could be a devil of a situation if you're just drifting away. Because if you're just drifting away, you're going to eventually drift your way to something that you're not going to be able to come back from.
Yeah. So as it's right now, it's December 29th.
Mhm.
We're not quite into 2022. The way I described how we're doing the show this year and the intro here. But right now at 2:30 p.m. about there are police on the scene of a shooting in Lansing
Wow.
at this moment.
Yeah.
And I saw that when I was outside
Wow.
prepping, if you would. What's your resources are it though, right? You said
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
squeezing opportunities away from people.
Right.
We're squeezing, idle hands.
Right.
What do you do to strengthen the community? What do you see your role there?
Well, this is something that maybe is not a right now solution, but going back to Banner King, my end game with Banner King is to work in the space of almost a franchise situation. So my resource is going to become a job, stability, employment for somebody. Maybe not for somebody within the next year or so, but eventually that's my offering to say, okay, doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. You don't have a college degree? Great. Let me show you how to do something. You don't have a high school diploma? All right, we can work on that. But in the meantime, let me show you how to do something. You haven't graduated from high school? Great. Come intern with me. By the time you're done, this is what you're going to be able to do. So that's the resource. So I'm looking at, anybody that is anybody, they can learn what I do. And so that's my contribution. Another thing that I haven't really touched on at all, shout out to Dan Henderson and his family. I've been hosting the Lansing Bless Fest for about 4 years now. And that festival is a resource. During that time, you're able to get haircuts, free clothing, food, good inspirational gospel music, and just a space to take your mind off of what you have going on. And you may not need a haircut or food or clothing. You just may need that space to take your mind off of what's going on. No matter what your net worth is, there's always something going on in everybody's mind, right? So shout out to Dan. But anyway.
LS on the north side, your poster's still up.
Really?
From this year.
That's funny. Yeah, there you
It's
go.
been up for like 4 months.
There you go. Shout out to Banner King as well. I printed
those.
those.
You probably printed those.
I did. But that's my contribution, man. I'm working on something that's much bigger than I am.
So can I add a couple of things?
Yeah.
Because every time you take that margin and you spend it in our community, you make these kids a little bit richer. You make the other entrepreneurs a little bit richer. And every time you help an entrepreneur, because maybe it's $90 at some other company and 75 at yours, that $15 stays in our community again, and it gives that resource for all of us to just do a little bit more. So I admire what you do.
Thank you.
And I think sometimes people, they look for the big things, right? The United Way and all of this stuff that might give us 2 cents out of a dollar, but a person like you that's supporting entrepreneurs and supporting our community and doing things that are positive has a long-lasting impact. So
and we have to be that way.
Yeah,
we have to. If we don't feel like we have to, we should at least consider it. Everything that I do, I try to do within 3 miles of my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How far away you live from here?
About 2 miles.
Okay, sweet. Because I can't move the fledge closer
No. Well, I mean, there are some things that you just can't help. But I'll give you a quick example on that. There's a gas station. I've been in my house for 5 years. There's a gas station right on the corner of kind of on the corner, the nearest major intersection. I have literally been across town and waited till I got home to get gas. Not because I didn't feel like stopping, but because one, they usually got the best prices in town, and two, I know those guys. So I want them to continue to be able to have the best prices in town. So it means a lot to me just to say, I'll get gas when I go home.
So even when everyone's all lined up at Speedway because they're 3 cents lower than whatever, you'll still go to
Still go home. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's weird. I'm not going to run out of gas because of that. But, if I can make it home, I'm going to go there.
I'm just lazy. I'll try to make it as far as I can with that little yellow dot.
Just get me on
I still
the hill,
got 40 miles.
Coast. Yeah.
All right, man. Tell us something that you overcame,
Mm.
or you're still working on overcoming?
Yeesh. Yeah. So I think one thing that I have overcome is not thinking let me flip that. Thinking that I'm not good enough. Oh, I can't be the one to do that. Why not? And though I've always had these things and ideas in my head about things I'd like to try, things I'd like to do, there was something inside me that would be like, oh, that would be great for somebody else. Oh, I got to tell somebody. I'm the idea guy. I can't be the guy to do that. Well, it's just within recent years that I said, I'm going to get out of my own way and just try things. And if they work, cool. If they don't work, cool. I've got another thing that I say a lot of times. Even if it didn't work, it worked out. Because it's true. I mean, there are things that we may love and want to try, but that doesn't mean we're supposed to be the one to do it. So step out there and do things. Just try. Nothing beats a try. What's the saying? Nothing beats a fail but a try, or something like that. Very cliche statement.
I don't know that.
Yeah, it's
I'll work it into all my cliches.
I don't know. And then something that I'm yet overcoming, I think I have such a belief in people. And that's a tough one because we do want to believe that everybody means well. We want to believe that. Mm-hmm. And so I take people at face value sometimes. And in the end, I end up being the one that's left dealing with an issue that had nothing to do with me. That's something I've put myself in place of. And I think that's maybe one of those things where we're like, oh no, everybody's great. Everybody's cool, and I can't let that be. I've been taken advantage of. Like even in the Banner King space, I've had people to order things, and for whatever reason, I'll say, okay, well, I'll get it to you, and they end up not paying for it. Or they'll expect me to do all this kind of work, and then figure out a way not to pay for it. And then instead of them being accountable, they're like, oh, well, you should have done this. It's like, wait, Staples again. You can't just go to Staples and make demands. The way my thing works is treat it like you're ordering online. I've had people tell me I'm not going to pay for it till I get it. Never going to get it that way. Because if you're ordering online, you're going to pay for it before you get it, right? So just the way I believe in people, and not to say we shouldn't believe in people, but maybe just kind of take everything with a grain of salt and stop expecting. I expect me out of other people, and you can't do that. So I'm working through that, man.
That's it's funny you say that, because that's what I learned in the first season of Every Damn Day. Is nobody cared as much about the show as I did.
Right.
And they did care about it.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't expect them to care about a goal I have. Right.
Yes.
And so you have to balance that. But we have to continue to believe in each other.
Yes.
And I think you're saying that.
That is what I'm saying.
And I respect that a lot.
Thank you.
Because there's going to be some people that slip up. And we don't know why they slip up. They might be backed in a corner. They might be, who knows why.
Yeah.
And it's not us to keep score, but to believe in humanity. And I've always loved you for that. You've always been a supporter of ours.
Absolutely.
And you've always been positive as a supporter. And I hope we're a good friend to you.
Yes. Too. Yes. I had a guy tell me, actually just earlier today, we were having a conversation, and he's like, everybody's got a story. He was giving me an example of somebody he was dealing with, one of his clients. He's like, everybody's got a story, and I'm too busy writing my own to listen to theirs. I was like, okay, I get it, but geez.
Is that good or bad?
Yeah.
It's got some good stuff, but it's like, damn,
Yeah. So it's like, I can't, because I took two things from that. And, I had an aunt that used to say, sometimes you have to learn how to pick the meat off the bones, which I don't know what that means now, but I got it for the example she gave. But, you know, I took from him, all right, too busy caring about myself, or we all go through things.
Right.
Toughen up. Like whoever he was talking to, I'm like, guys, but that's his situation. Maybe I should be more like that.
Maybe it's his value system.
Maybe
we
it's
got to
his value
stick with
system.
my values. You got to stick with
Yeah.
your values.
Yes.
And the difference in those values
Right.
is what makes us strong, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So, all right, man, what you want to get off your chest before we end this? Because I'm trying to do like these 30-minute things now. So we're super good.
I want to get off my chest that my retractable banners are not $99 going into 2022.
Are they cheaper or
No, they're more.
expensive?
They're more. You know, I had somebody tell me one time, she's like, if I'm going to pay you $99 for it, that's not your profit. So why can't I pay you what it costs you to make it? I was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. So I said, you know, all right, I'm just going to raise the price. You're going to pay it or you're not going to pay it, right? Continue to get your retractable banners. I'm just talking trash with you.
I like your retractable banners.
Thank you, man.
I think they're worth that.
They are.
And I also think as a business person, you raise your prices sometimes, you'll get more orders than when
You
your
will.
prices.
You really will.
Yep.
Because
It
I had
changes the
another
perception.
client tell me, a really, really large client, they said, well, at the price point, it made me kind of think that the value wasn't going to be there and it was going to be broken in a few weeks. I was like, oh,
Yep.
I'll just charge you more. No, joking. We don't do that. But yeah, I mean, people see, there's a very old saying that you get what you pay for. And some people stick to that, even though I know the quality of my banners. Right. So, you know.
And I'll also add an investment in you, a local person that's trying to keep some of that money here is an investment in ourselves.
It is. It is.
Right? We're a tribe or we're not a tribe.
It'll make me want to stay in Lansing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's lots of reasons.
I was trying to say
All right,
that.
that's a
stone
whole
face,
different
but
show.
that
That's
is
a whole different show.
Thank you, man.
It's taken a long time to get here.
It has.
Thank you for coming on every
Thank
damn
you.
day.
I'm glad to be here.
And you want to take us out with something?
No.
No? All right.
Happy New Year. Well, we're into the new year.
We are
got to
in-
edit that out.
No, we won't edit it out.
All right. Happy New Year. Be prosperous.
Yeah.
And I hope that you donate money to the Fledge.
Or spend some money in our local community.
Or do that.
Support our local entrepreneurs. And make our community stronger because we got this.
Yes.
We don't need anybody else. We don't have to buy everything from everywhere around the world.
Absolutely.
We got this ourselves.
Absolutely. Shout out to my Buenos Noches.
All right.
crew.
We're
Love you
doing our
guys.
best to figure out what season 2 looks like. I like this. You happy with
I
this?
do like it.
All right. So there you go, y'all. That's the first wrap of the first episode, per se, of season 2 of Every
Yeah.
Damn Day.
Yeah.
Thank you so
See ya.
much, Genesis.
Thanks, man.